Everybody's talking about how you fill the void of the 152 receptions that went out the door in the offseason. Siders don't see an alpha male number one receiver on the roster right now. Absent of that, is it fair to say that when you step up to the line with the play call, you can just play the play?
Yeah. I think that we've got a lot of guys that their skill sets vary. They do a lot of different things. We've got some big guys. We've got some shorter, faster guys that we can move around. The offseason that we had was very good. We brought in guys that are hungry. They want to come in. They want to work. There may not be an alpha, but we got some dogs in that room.
The Buffalo Bills are becoming unstoppable. And with Josh Allen's most recent interview with Chris Brown and Steve Tasker, he reveals all of the differences heading into 2024.
You know, every play is like, I could get the ball here. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, our routes, our combinations right now, our concepts, have everybody involved in a certain way where if you're on the outside and you're pressed, like the ball could be coming to you. You know, I'm going 1, 2 to 3 to 4, and we're just trying to make these progressions as quick as possible and get everybody involved.
The thing that's making the Buffalo Bills unstoppable so far are the changes on this offense under Joe Brady, and we can clearly hear Josh Allen specifically stating that the theme and saying of this offense is that everybody is going to eat. And what that ultimately means, Josh Allen breaks it down, is that he is not just eyeing up one player such as Stephon Diggs as the number one go-to wide receiver in his progressions. We are relying on each and every single one of these wide receivers on this team to contribute and do their part no matter what the progression is.
Smart guy that's maybe third or fourth in the progression knows that I've got time on this route.
Right.
I don't want to be open now. I want to be open later because I know that the quarterback's got to go 1 to 2 and he's coming back to me at 3. I've got time to go touch paint, oversell my route, and then snap off of it and give myself a good opportunity of catching the ball. And I think that's what we got a lot of guys doing right now.
And I could say that Stephon Diggs was probably, chances are, number 1, number 2 in the progressions of Josh Allen in years past under Ken Dorsey. Obviously, Joe Brady couldn't necessarily put his spin on things, but now going against defenses, keeping defenses honest, no one truly knows who the number 1 wide receiver is for the Buffalo Bills, and maybe it's because we don't truly have a true number 1 wide receiver on this team. Josh Allen's going to go into each and every single play with a different progression, have a different wide receiver as the number 1 option, and he's going to go and actually read the defenses and progress through. And the other thing that Josh Allen wanted to talk about is that he really has players clearing things out. Maybe not just one player on a particular play. He's got 2 players clearing things out for another player. This truly is going to be a team collaborative effort on offense. No defense is going to know how to prepare against the Buffalo Bills. Clearly, not having Stephon Diggs is going to open things up tremendously for the Buffalo Bills in 2024. You think back to when we had Stephon Diggs, defenses could play their cards, play their chances. That chances are that Stephon Diggs was going to be number 1 in the progression. If we took away Stephon Diggs, then chances are that Josh Allen would have to move on to his second progression and there follow. And the other thing that these wide receivers have worked on going into this season is knowing when to get open. So if you are third in the progression or fourth in the progression, you know how to delay your routes to create the opening and the space from the defender by the time Josh Allen gets to you. Okay, option 1, he's covered. Josh Allen has to move on to option 2. Okay, he's covered, but now he's got to move on to option 3 in his progression. If he's not open by the time he gets to number 3, it's probably not going to be successful. So these wide receivers need to understand, okay, I'm third in the progression, I'm fourth in the progression, I'm second, I'm first in the progression. They need to clearly understand when to be open for Josh Allen. First, it's right away. Second, it's a little time delay. Third, it's even more time delay. Fourth, it's even longer. So these wide receivers need to truly understand that, where they are in the progression of each and every single one of these plays. And I think you look back to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs was like, hey, look, I'm always going to be number 1. I'm always going to be number 2. How often was Stephon Diggs third or fourth in the progression? Probably very rare. And I don't know if Stephon Diggs was willing to commit himself to delay his routes to get open third or fourth in the progression. Stephon Diggs was a diva and ultimately wanted the ball all the time. So, like, how much effort and time was really going into that? And I think that is really going to open things up with MVS, Mac Hollins, Keon Coleman, KJ Hamler, even Justin Shorter, Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid. Like, all these guys are true teammates for the Buffalo Bills, and they're going to dedicate themselves 110%, regardless if they're 1 or 4th in the progression of that particular play. So I really think this is going to open things up for Josh Allen and Joe Brady and this entire offense. Now, the other thing that's making the Buffalo Bills unstoppable is all the beef that has been added to this offensive line. Just take a look at Connor McGovern transitioning away from left guard for the Buffalo Bills to now center, and us moving on from Mitch Morris. Connor McGovern is a lot bigger than Mitch Morris. You know, we got David Edwards there at left guard, taking at left guard. We got Osiris Torrance at right guard, Spencer Brown at right tackle, Deion Dawkins at left tackle, Steve Tasker and Chris Brown specifically stating this is a different offensive line just from appearance-wise. And Josh Allen went on to say, hey, look, that game against the Cowboys and some other games last year where you didn't even have to throw the ball, we just road-graded teams. Josh Allen's like, I woke up in the morning and he was like, I was ready to play another game. So Steve Tasker brought up a very interesting point here, is that any successful team, the more ways you have to win a football game, the better off you're going to be. And Josh Allen elaborated on that a little bit further. But if a team is stacking the box, if they're really trying to stop the run, then you have to be able to pass it on them. Or if they're playing like a very soft zone defense and they're really protecting the pass, you got to be able to run the ball. And there's a lot more things that go into the game of football. If they're playing man coverage, if they're playing zone, right? You could find different ways to ultimately win and keep defenses honest, open things up for the success of this team. But I truly believe the Buffalo Bills have not only progressed from the offensive line, Aaron Kromer still being here as their offensive line coach, having much bigger guys on this offensive line, having James Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, these running backs in the background really starting to develop and improve themselves. Dalton Kincaid in year 2, working alongside Dawson Knox. All these guys, MVS, Chase Claypool, Mac Hollins, Justin Shorter, like all the guys, Curtis Samuel, all the guys that we brought in that are true teammates and are really going to work out on this offense. I really think the Buffalo Bills are in the best position to succeed. And that is really just offensively. You consider things defensively, you could hear that Kaiir Elam is balling out for the Buffalo Bills. You know, we even saw Keon Coleman burn Rasul Douglas, a veteran. So it just goes to show you how smart these wide receivers really are, too, for the Bills. I think that's the other difference here, is that the Bills have really brought in players that are going to blossom early in their careers. Keon Coleman is already blowing things up. Josh Allen saying, hey, look, on that Mac Hollins touchdowns that he had, he went over to MVS and some other players and was like, hey, this was you. This was not Mac Hollins' touchdown. This was you because you were clearing things out. So the team, the energy is there for the Buffalo Bills. They're even saying offensive linemen are running down, celebrating touchdowns. So different from last year when we were criticizing Ken Dorsey and Stephon Diggs for not having fun on the football field. The 2024 Buffalo Bills represent nothing but fun on the field, and I'm absolutely loving it. They seem re-energized. Josh Allen seems back to himself. We don't have clear-cut progressions. We have true teammates here. I truly believe the 2024 Buffalo Bills will finish with a better record and will finish later in the playoffs, if not Super Bowl champions, for this upcoming season. But I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit like, subscribe. That's how you're going to support me and my efforts for this channel. Also, check the link in the description. We have the Buffalo Chicken Wing merch t-shirt from sizes small to 5XL. We also have Course Careers, who teaches free introduction courses to accounting, to software development, in IT, data analytics. They literally help you get hired immediately. So if you're considering a transitional change, I was a property manager for 13 years. I took Course Careers tech sales course and ended up getting hired in sales, in tech sales. So really, really recommend that. Check the link down below. Appreciate you guys. Hit like, subscribe, and go Bills.